Hello, my friends. Alyssa Neal here, dietitian and owner of Nourishment Nutrition. So, a big thank you to the Team Pacific 4, who is a rowing team of 4 women that are going to be rowing from San Francisco, California to Honolulu, Hawaii. They have been working with me on their nutrition, and they asked me if I could do a video on the immune system and on foods and lifestyle modifications, nourishment centric, to support the immune system while we deal with, being at risk of the coronavirus, which we are always at risk of getting a common cold, a virus. This is not the common cold, but it is a virus. And so when I give these recommendations, they are not based on any research that is COVID or coronavirus specific. It is just based on recommendations that I would give any client for, a quote-unquote nutritional prescription when they are asking me about the common cold, okay? Which, again, is a virus. So, number 1, first and foremost, is getting enough sleep. Now, I know that you're going, wait a minute, that's not nutrition related, but it is nourishment related. Getting enough sleep is the best way to support the immune system. And honestly, you're going to laugh, but going to bed, getting in your bed between 8 and 10 p.m. is really the best time to fall asleep. Why? Because there are certain chemicals that our body produces and sends around the body that are produced between pretty much 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. depending on what the circadian rhythm, depending on what time zone you're in and when the sun is setting, right? So it's based on our body's circadian rhythm. The body produces these chemicals like human growth hormone and a lot of chemicals or biochemicals that allow us to recover. And they're produced between like 9 p.m. and 12. So if you're up until 2 p.m., until 2 a.m., it's not going to be super supportive for your immune system, right? Even if you're up till 1 or 12, it's better to go to bed early. Get on that, like if you have a little kid or you've ever watched little kids, get on their sleep schedule where you go to bed early and then you allow your body to wake up naturally. So that's number 1. And that affects number 2, which is not consuming too much sugar, okay? If you're sleep deprived, you're going to notice that you crave more sugar. One of the best ways to reduce inflammation and support the immune system, which are really one and the same, right? If we're reducing inflammation, we're automatically supporting the immune system, is to not overconsume sugar. And this is, primarily when I say this, I'm talking about processed sugar. Processed sugar spikes blood glucose levels, it makes us crave more sugar, it also causes inflammation, and that's not beneficial for the immune system at all. So avoid processed sugar. If you want something sweet, a great thing to turn to at this time are fruits, okay? And that brings me to point 3. So we have getting enough sleep, not eating too much sugar, so let's focus on what we want to be doing, which is eating an abundance of fresh, whole foods that are not processed. Now, I understand that this might be a little bit tricky right now, as people are shopping in ways that are causing some food shortages and not as much abundance in the grocery store as usual. But if you are craving sweet, to go back to this original point here, choose fruits, okay? Fruits have lots of vitamins, especially vitamin C. And vitamin C is really beneficial because it is an antioxidant, okay? So if you ask anyone who knows supplements about what kind of supplements you should take, they're going to say, take vitamin A, antioxidant. Take vitamin C, antioxidant. Take vitamin E, antioxidant, right? Those vitamins act to quell inflammation. They are antioxidants. They interact with oxidants, which cause inflammation, right, which are a normal part of life. Breathing causes oxidation. But they interact with them in such a way that they make them go from reactive oxidants, which cause inflammation and do not support the immune system, to calm, not reactive chemicals or molecules that, make it so that the body's landscape is not so inflammatory. So antioxidants, vitamins A, C, E, those are all antioxidants. They're going to be really helpful at this time, okay? And you can get those from fruit. You also can get them from vegetables. Honestly, things like avocados, things like cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all the cruciferous vegetables, right? They are all rich in vitamin C as well. Not only are they rich in vitamin C, but they are rich in compounds that support the immune system. They're rich in sulfur, which actually supports the body's production of glutathione. Glutathione is an antioxidant that we make in our own body, so we don't even have to consume food to have this antioxidant, but making sure that you have enough sulfur-rich foods. So all the cruciferous veggies, so if you don't know them, I'll give you a couple. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, those are all cruciferous veggies. They contain sulfur. Also, eggs. Eggs contain sulfur. Have you ever over hard boiled an egg and you get that weird smell and you're like, what's going on? Sulfur, okay? Actually, a lot of proteins, a lot of amino acids contain sulfur. So we have antioxidants. We have getting enough sleep. We have, and actually, let me go back to something here. Antioxidants from food are optimal because how food works is kind of magical and majestic in the sense that there's no isolated component in food just working by itself. There are many components of food working together. So just make note of that. Of course, some supplements are going to be really helpful, right? If you are supplementing vitamin C, really helpful. However, food components are going to be more effective. They're not as therapeutic, but they are going to be effective. When you are taking vitamin C, because I know that vitamin C is a really common household supplement, it's pointless to take more than 300 to 500 milligrams. The body probably isn't even going to absorb 500 milligrams at once. And this is if you're taking it orally, right? So it's being absorbed via the digestive system or the gastrointestinal tract. How our GI tract works is kind of funny because if you take more of something, it doesn't mean you're going to absorb all of it, right? So if you are taking vitamin C, honestly, any water-soluble vitamin, but vitamin C is really common in these times for cold prevention. If you are taking it orally, take doses of 300 to 500 milligrams throughout the day, spaced out every couple hours, okay? Other things that are important here. So zinc is also important. You can get zinc from so many different whole food sources. If you're going to take it in a lozenge form or chewable, don't take too much of it. I believe, I'm just looking here, I'm referencing prescription for nutritional healing, natural healing while I'm talking, just so that I don't give you wrong doses. So 15 milligram lozenge tops for zinc per day, okay? Other things that are helpful, garlic, onions, all of those really potent tasting foods. Actually, some people will even supplement garlic as, what is it called? I can't think of what it's called. But there are a couple different, aged garlic extracts that you can take that support immune system, okay? Often people will talk about how they support cardiovascular health as well. But aged garlic is great. Probiotics are great. Or fermented foods, right? For every food source where these things come from, there are always supplements. And honestly, eat the food first and foremost, but if you don't have access to it, for example, if you don't have access to kimchi or sauerkraut or some kind of lacto-fermented vegetable, taking a probiotic is fantastic. Other things that you can do, stay hydrated, okay? Stay hydrated, stay hydrated, stay hydrated. Drink enough water, especially now. Water is not a cure-all, but when we're hydrated, our body just works better because there are so many chemical reactions in our body that require water, okay? We are primarily water, so stay hydrated. It doesn't have to be fancy. Yes, you can add electrolytes. Yes, you can add vitamin C powders, but just plain water, cheers to that, okay? Keep it simple. Other things that you'll hear about that people will talk about, things like olive leaf extract, things like N-acetylcysteine, okay? Olive leaf extract, again, it's high antioxidants. It's the secondary plant compounds that are being used. N-acetylcysteine is essentially a glutathione building block or precursor. So again, it's allowing us to have the building blocks to make our endogenous antioxidants, glutathione. L-lysine, a lot of people will take if you are impacted with a cold or your immune system is impacted and you experience any kind of cold sores or oral herpes. Taking L-lysine will help those outbreaks to decrease. It is an amino acid and it's found in food, but again, if you take it in a supplement form, you're taking a higher, more therapeutic dose. other herbs, so you have olive leaf extract, you have oregano extract, you have astragalus, you have echinacea. There are so many different things, and honestly, it's going to be different per person, and again, you always want to consult either an herbalist, a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, an acupuncturist, a doctor, a pharmacist, but just so you know, even if it's just for the placebo effect of the mind, it's nice to have an arsenal of nourishing options, right? And this food comes first, and lifestyle modifications like staying hydrated, practicing precautions, getting enough sleep, those things all come first. Getting some fresh air, even if it's just sitting out on your steps for a little bit to get some sun. Another one, the sun just reminded me of it, is vitamin D. Vitamin D is so important for human health. Truly, like the impacts are, to say it's important for human health is an understatement. So, of course, vitamin D is not super common in food, right? There are some foods that contain it, like milk is enriched with vitamin D. But the body's going to make vitamin D naturally from sun exposure. So if you don't get a lot of sun exposure, go have your blood levels tested. Don't go do that right now, though, because the healthcare system does not need you walking in there asking for your vitamin D levels. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. Also, you're putting yourself at risk, so don't do that. But having your vitamin D levels checked and then making sure that they are at an adequate level is really important for the immune system. Other things to consider: getting enough protein. And this can be plant-based protein, whether it's from beans, lentils, legumes, nuts, tofu, tempeh, etc., hemp, or animal protein. It doesn't matter, but making sure that you get enough protein will actually support one of the first things we talked about, which is not eating too much processed sugar. Protein is essential in balancing blood glucose levels and making sure that we stay on that really boring but very stable and consistent, we'll just say, blood glucose trend, right? Where we're not doing this, where we're not doing this, spike the blood glucose, drop the blood glucose, spike the blood glucose, drop the blood glucose, and that just causes more cravings, moodiness, tiredness, and puts the immune system at risk. So getting enough protein will help you to support that first primary thing that we talked about as far as foods go. Other things, soups. If you can make soups are really easy to digest. You've cooked the food, right, for a while. Maybe it's going to be a bone broth, or maybe it's going to be a vegetable-based broth. Adding in really potent herbs. So if you're going to make a soup, add in fresh rosemary, add in fresh ginger, add thyme, add garlic, add mushrooms. Mushrooms really deeply support the immune system. Everything from maitake, reishi, shiitake, there are some incredible mushroom supplements that you can use for your immune system. So you can see here, there's no shortage of taking responsibility for your own health and with the resources you have. And this doesn't mean that you have to go out and buy $600 worth of supplements. This means that you can support yourself with food. This means if you don't want to buy a vitamin C supplement, squeeze some lemon in your water, right? We can get creative with this. We can take some of the authority, take some of the responsibility for our nourishment, just like we're taking responsibility and saying, hey, we're going to stay home because we don't want this to spread. We don't want this to affect our economy, our loved ones, our workplace longer than it has to. So take the responsibility now so that we're not kicking ourselves later, okay? And this includes taking care of the self. Taking care of the self. And remember, right now it is cold season. It just is. It's also allergy season. Quercetin is great for allergies. So is staying hydrated. So is vitamin C. There's a lot of overlap because a lot of these things affect the same systems. So, my friends, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking responsibility. And if you have questions, drop them below in the comment section or email me at nourishment-nutrition.com. You can also find me at nourishmentnutrition.com. This is, 15 minutes is never enough time to go through all of these things. So they're just little hits of little things, little ideas. But what they will do is they will stimulate your own critical thinking and resourcefulness. So stay nourished, be well. Nourishment is empowerment. Let us take responsibility for the collective. The collective responsibility is heavy right now. It's important, and it's really obvious what it is. Care for yourselves, my friends. Be well.